Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 22 of the Add a Zero Challenge. Can we take a $10,000 live poker bankroll and run it up to $100,000? That is the goal, and we're coming off 5 winning sessions in a row, so definitely a big comeback from the early downswing in the series. Can we keep it going with number 6 today? You can cut out my, can we keep it go? Just chop that. Anyways, let's get into it. First hand of the session, we're looking down at 6-5 of clubs here in middle position or so. We get an open from,
110.
Looks like under the gun +2 here in the 1C, and we're going to 3-bet to 110. With the 6-5 suited, I think this is a good idea. You don't want to do it all the time, but it is a good idea to 3-bet some of these suited connectors, 5-6, 6-7, 7-8 suited. And then it kind of gets worse when you get the 9-10 and the 10-jack. Sometimes you're dominated, but... nonetheless, we go for the 3-bet to 110 here. Folds back around, and we have a call. So we're going to a flop here with the 6-5 of clubs. Flop comes down, ace, 10, 5. Okay, so a flop where we hit a pair, but definitely a board where we want to keep betting here with our 5-6. It's a 3-bet pot. We have a lot of aces in our range. We want to continue representing the ace and betting, and we have 5 outs to improve. So let's do that.
90.
I'm going to bet 90. Small continuation bet in the 3-bet pot is pretty normal. Action back on my opponent. Who calls? So we're going to the turn. Turn is a 7 of spades. Difficult spot for us here. Do we want to keep bluffing or not? There's diamonds and spades out there. But at the same time, my opponent is not representing a very strong hand here. Calling the 3-bet, just calling the C-bet, double flush draws out there. We're not worried about too many big hands, so I think you can keep barreling here. Another option would be taking king-queen, king-jack, and queen-jack suited, all of those suited hands, and the king-queen offsuit, and barreling with those hands. That makes a lot of sense as well.
260.
So we bet 260 here. We do continue the aggression against our opponent, who very quickly calls, which is quite interesting, right? Because there's not many hands that want to snap call here on the turn. You're going to be thinking about it often with both flush draws. River is the 9 of diamonds. We give up on the river. I think that makes sense. Our opponent can't be drawing to a flush here. I think we're going to struggle to get them off a lot of hands. So we check. Our opponent shows down jacks. Wow, it's been a while since I played this hand, jacks. I mean, this hand needs to fold the turn. You are assuming that I am bluffing at a really high frequency if you're calling jacks on the turn. You have no outs to improve with jacks. You have 2 outs. So you have to think I'm massively over bluffing in this spot. And I have a really wide 3-bet bluffing range. So it's a bad call on the turn. I think our play is fine. But obviously, if we know that our opponent is really sticky and that they don't fold these pairs, well, how does our strategy change? Well, we don't bluff on the turn anymore, right? Like if they're going to call with jacks, like why would we do that? We just value bet. So we can start to value bet our ace-queen in 3-bet pots. We can go bet jam against this type of opponent and get 3 streets of value. So anyways, not a good start. On to the next hand. Looks like we're in for 1,800 of buy-ins. We look down at the pocket kings. Okay.
230.
We are going to make it 230 to go. We have the same crazy opponent that's in the 1C. Says, thank you very much. Goes all in. We call.
How many? 2?
One time.
1?
It's the aces versus kings. It's the aces versus kings. My opponent has aces. I have kings. What can you do here? Obviously a painful one.
Kings, aces, kings, aces, kings, aces.
You're just going to lose a stack when it's aces to kings. There's nothing to think about, really. It's just the way it goes.
We all get it equally. There's nothing to do there.
Chips. We are in the straddle here. We look down at 10-5.
Check.
I think we'd come along, getting 7-1 odds. Flop is 7-5-3. Now this is kind of the tough part when you have a hand that's getting 7-1 odds, is you need to make some tough decisions post flop when you flop some marginal strength hands, but you're getting a good hand pre-flop, or a good price pre-flop. So we are going to go for a bet here when it checks to us, which is pretty interesting actually. I'm surprised that I went for this play. We are out of position to only one opponent. It'd be nice if we could get the button to fold. The other two we're in position on, but it is a thin bet, I would say for sure. The 7-5-3. Our hand also plays well as a check call. So I think almost 2 months later, I would probably go for the check call here. It's not the end of the world either, though. Like, this is a good board for our range.
Second round, she's gonna get her in.
And we have seat 1 call. So now this is the opponent where we can value bet a little bit thinner, and we're not going to bluff as much based on how things have played out, right? It's 10-5, too thin to value bet multiple times. It's close. It really depends on the run-up. I don't hate a bet here, but it is quite thin with 10-5.
Check.
Check, check, and we go for the bluff catch on the river here. Our opponent checks. Now, can we go for the thin value? Probably. At this point, when they check twice, I expect them to bet a 7, almost for sure. Our opponent is really sticky. I think we can bet, and we're going to value on ourselves when they have Jack 5 or Queen 5. They called the min raise in the the small blind.
75.
Yeah, I think it's close, but I think a bet is fine.
Oh yeah. But I'm telling you, everybody's laughing at me when I say this. Connor is gonna kill Michael Chandler.
75 call. We show down. I don't remember this hand.
Save your money. I'm the entire house on Chandler. Okay.
Jack 5, check.
He hasn't been touching.
Shows the Jack 5. We do value on ourselves against Jack 5. Like I said, it's a really close spot here. Our opponent doesn't have a king. They don't have a 7. I think they're going to play it differently. So it's like, do they have the few combos of better 5s, or do they have worse 5s or 3x? I expect them to call quite wide. I think I have the coolest piece of poker software you've ever seen today. It is called Hybrid Poker. Brand new piece of poker learning software where you test your score against myself, against Daniel Negreanu, against Bill Perkins, and see how you score against the 3 of us, as well as other poker players as well. But Hybrid Poker learns about you, the player, this is really cool. As Hybrid Poker gets to know you, it's going to tell you what to work on. There's a link to the IQ test down below. Try it for free. I think you'll like it. So try it out. Session not going great. We have 2,600 of buy-ins here, looking down at the ace 9 of clubs. In the hijack, we're going to raise it up to 60. Over a raise from that same villain in seat 1. The ace 9 of clubs. I think definitely the right idea to inflate the pot against his opponent that is playing pretty wide, playing quite a lot of wide hands. We flop 2 pair on a 3 diamond board.
80.
You'll love it. We bet 80 into this pot. Just hoping our opponent has something to continue with. I'm pretty certain this opponent's going to continue with any diamonds, any ace, any 9. Probably any 6, honestly. Maybe any pair.
225.
Bet call on the flop. Going to bet 225 on the turn.
225.
And we get a call. Going to the river, which is the 8 of diamonds. This is the nightmare. With our ace 9 of clubs, we need to fold to any aggressive action. Any diamond, any 10, any 5 beats us. And if they have other 2 pairs, they're probably just going to get it to showdown most of the time. They're probably not going to take a hand like 7-8 and decide to turn it into a bluff here, or 9-6 or something. They're just going to check. So if they bet, I think we have to fold. I don't know what happens here. Looks like a bet of 50 into a pot of 400 or something like that. In which case, yeah, okay. Getting 9-1 odds, I think we should call. I can't see the exact sizing, but ace 10. So ace 10 made the straight. I just don't think we can fold when they bet $50 there. There's a chance they could be blocking with worst 2 pairs. So when we're getting 8-9 to 1, I think we need to call down. Gets a reasonable sizing, like a half pot, or even 40% of the pot. I think we can find the fold. And we look down at ace of diamonds, queen of clubs. It'd be really nice if we could get something going our way here. We're going to open it up to 25. I think it went limp 25 and then call on the button there based on the sizing. King 5 deuce with 3 diamonds. We have the ace of diamonds. We can better check here. I think check call or check raise is reasonable depending on our opponent's stack size. Turn is the deuce of clubs. And they bet 25. In this spot, that is about $55. I think the answer is very clear call. Whether we have the diamond or not, we are going to call with the ace queen high here at this point. River's the 9 of clubs.
180.
Our opponent bets, and we go for the check raise here, which is very interesting. We do have the ace of diamonds, so we can represent a really strong hand here. We could also represent a deuce, being in the big blind, but how many raise out of the big blind is tough to say. We go for the big check raise here against our opponent in the 8 seat. And it's been so long, I forget the specific reads we have. If you're going to bluff, you definitely want the ace of diamonds in the spot on the river check raise. And it's not a play we make very often. We do get the call from probably Ace King, I'm guessing here. Ace King, King Queen, something like that.
Good hand, man.
King Jack, yeah, fair enough. And that's the last hand. So I'm sorry to leave you with depression today, unfortunately. We lost 1605 on the session, so 5 winning sessions in a row, but then boom, 1605 loss for episode 22. That's right, we're going to keep battling. So the future of this series is up in the air. I'm having a good time doing it, and I do think we can complete the challenge. We had some pretty bad runouts and some lack of success in a few of those spots. Just the details have to be figured out, essentially. So, some of you guys have been along with me for 8 years now that we've had this channel and my Twitch stream running. And so it's a very long time. I think live poker could be a really interesting part of what my future holds with making content. I like doing it. It just has to make sense. You know, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and I've got to figure out, frankly, how to make money from it beyond just the table profits that I hopefully will make over my time playing. And so I'm sorting that out. And I think we're going to figure out something. Like, live poker is going to be a part of my life as a poker player. And I hope you guys will stick with me until I figure this out and we can get started. So big thanks to everyone for supporting with this series. Quick pause for the summer. I hope you all enjoyed your time at the beginning of this series, but I will see you all in a few months for live poker. And don't worry, the online poker continues all summer and indefinitely. So there's still going to be lots of content coming out on this channel. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you later.